clear. So now we have to figure out why he's having those chest meetings.
All right, so we'll call the meeting to order and pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we do have a quorum. So I'll take a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? 5-4-0 against. So. The public hearing is for the Port LLC application for the liquor license.
So, Cork and Cow has a change of use. We've been through the, in front of the planning board, and they're looking to serve on premise beer and wine. And I think previously you were just selling bottles, right? So you're gonna move to actually serving. So that's the need for the public hearing.
Does the public, any of the public have any comments? Oh, we do have.
Anthony and Christina?
Hi, as you folks may know, we are the neighbors to the Cork and Cow. We live just a stone throw away. And I have to say that that business has been a great addition, both to the village and to the neighborhood and to the community. They've offer a top-notch level of product, and they have been superior neighbors, and we could not more enthusiastically support their efforts to grow their business. So we would respectfully ask the select board to please approve this liquor license application.
Awesome, thank you.
It's good to know.
Any other public comment? Anybody from the select board have any questions or?
No, there was a lot of paperwork. There's a lot. Well, it all looked like it was in order to me.
We don't make it easy, do we?
So I move that we approve the liquor license for the Cork and Cow LLC. Oh, no, we have to go out of the hearing. Sorry.
Hearing for.
Jump the gun.
A motion to,
I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
correct. All those in favor? 5-4-0 against. Now you can,
Okay, I move that we approve the Cork and Cow LLC's application for a new liquor license.
Second.
all those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 against.
All of this paperwork and it's all done already.
Almost anticlimactic, isn't it?
I feel like I have a multiple choice test on all this. I know, I'm going to have to memorize it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you'll still have your coffee downstairs. I know people are very enthusiastic about your coffee machine.
Yes, we still have the coffee, and that's not gonna go anywhere, so we're about that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good luck.
Yes, we're probably gonna leave if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right, wonderful. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Good night.
Motion to open the regular board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? 5-4-0 against. This is when we do public comment, allows the public to speak and bring forward ideas or comments that may not be acted on tonight, but we will act on them in a future date. Do we have any public comment? State, please state.
I drive the trucks for me.
Yeah, please.
James Long. I drive the trucks for the maintenance department, or sometimes. And a couple of times this last week, I've had a few people veer out into my lane. I think they're on phones, I'm not really sure. Just a thought, but I think we should put cameras in the trucks. It'd probably improve your insurance costs and it would help us out in case of an accident or anything like that.
That's an excellent idea.
That's,
Like dash cams, is that what you're
yeah,
talking about?
whatever, you would have to do your own research, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Whatever
I think-
cameras you think are necessary.
Usually you do them through your cell phone carrier too.
Oh,
They offer.
Oh, cell phone carrier,
I think that the gentleman in, oh, where do we get the awards? And I think we've had,
Yankee.
yes, he does them.
I
Cause
just
he-
talked to them today, so I've got to be out. As soon as we get the truck running again, I gotta go out there anyway, so I'll ask you about it.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
idea.
And I can check with FirstNet and see if they've got something with our cell. We could at least compare prices, right? Our cell coverage carrier.
And what are we trying to actually do with the cameras?
Just
The
like if there's
safety
an
issue.
accident, it's a pretty common thing nowadays, just like if there's an accident, it records everything. So like if someone comes into your lane, your insurance can prove that it wasn't you. Stuff like that.
Yeah, cause I know when I used to work, or they put them in all the trucks, and basically. They would, anytime you started the truck, they would come on, record for a minute and then shut off. They typically would record anything unless you actually hit the brakes.
With like.
A panic stop or something, and then they would start recording.
You know, that's how most of them are.
Yeah.
Because of privacy.
I could make a note to check with MMA for our insurance and see if it would give us any sort of a reduction too.
sure.
You can take a look. Okay, any other public comment?
I'm Matt Gregor Stokoe, I'm a school board member, and I just wanted to give you an update if you were interested. Also, I also wanted to offer, if you want to put me on the agenda, I could come at the beginning of the month, so like your first meeting every month. So it'd be like a regular update, what's going on with the school board, so I'm happy to do that in November. And then if you'd rather me do that then and not now, I could do that, or I could do it now and then as well. Fine.
I mean, while he's here, if he wants to
Yeah.
give us a little update, I can.
Love an update.
So just, I mean, there's just a couple issues, not issues, but just updates. So, I think there's, the school board is making good progress in terms of being more transparent with the community. And one of those things is that the website, the school district website on the school board page, they used to only post the agenda, but now they post the agenda and all the materials. So when Sarah and I were making the case for that, we actually used you as an example and said, look, Belgrade has all the materials and so they do that now. So if you click on the agenda, it's agenda and all the materials, which I think is really helpful for people that can't go. Also, we voted at our last meeting to actually begin recording school board meetings. So it's not gonna have the owl where people can participate live like you do. But we are going to record the meetings and then post them the next day, so. Again, if you can't be there in person, you can at least watch and see everything that was said. So. Also, at one of our recent meetings, we discussed the budget process from last year. As you know, it was pretty controversial. Sarah and I had some. Pretty strong opinions. Other school board members felt differently, but I just wanted to let you know that we did. Discuss it, and not everybody felt the same. So we weren't able to come to any single conclusion, but at least it was publicly discussed and we were able to air our. Disappointment in some of the things that were done last spring, and there was significant discussion on how we can do things better in the future. And then finally, we are going to, the school board is going to be meeting at different locations throughout the year. So going to China, going to Sydney, and going to BCS. And we're gonna meet on December 17th at BCS. So it's our regularly scheduled meeting, but instead of being at the central office, it'll be at BCS. So 6:30, December 17th, BCS. Those are the big items. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer anything.
I have a question about the new superintendent. I don't know how soon he's making forays out into the community, but I think we'd all be happy to hear from him at some point once he's feeling settled. Usually we would invite the superintendent to come as part of the budget process, but it might be nice to hear from him.
Yes.
Well before that.
I will send him a note. He actually, when he first came on, to my pleasant surprise, he said that one of his interests was building more community, not just support, but collaboration and communication. And so he said that one of the things he was going to do was go to each of the towns and speak to them. So if he hasn't come to BCS yet, that's good to know, because I'll tell him he needs to.
I mean, he may have been to the Belgrade Central School, but he hasn't been to the select board, so we'd be happy to.
No, he specifically said he wanted to go to the town political offices.
Okay,
So,
good. Great.
I'm surprised he hasn't been to the select board meeting. I'll ask him.
Oh, we haven't officially invited him. Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay, wanted to let him have a chance to get settled in.
Okay. I'll talk to him about that.
Just for the record, I wanted to let you guys know that we didn't talk about this public session at all. I mean, we show up here for another reason, and he showed up here because he wanna do a summary or align the select board about what's going on. So it's not only me now, so. I said, you know, Mac, this is wonderful. And I'm charging you with it. I want my trust behind them. So.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, thank you. That was good.
So, my name is Sarah Langet. Among other hats, I also am in the planning board. And I heard that, last meeting at the select board, there were concerns from the public related to the application from, for the Belgrade Stream subdivision. I, placed an extensive email to all of you and to the resident that had questions. I hope that the email does surface the concerns that were out there. And in a nutshell, after you read probably for 20 minutes my email, the nutshell is that yes, there was an application for a subdivision in the Belgrade Stream. The application was extremely robust in proving the case that apparently that was marked as a resource district, natural resource district, and for wetlands. And this applicant had done all the due diligence in providing scientific data and especially soil evaluation and testing. And those things, that kind of testing is done with the core, which the company comes in and drills down and takes a core sample from the ground. And probably the results should demonstrate that back 10-15 years, there have been no wet soils over there. So that said, the board is on the obligation to set the claim from the landowner on those regards. The approval of the subdivision is different from the approval of permitting development and building. So he literally have put a template over the land area where it's kind of subdivided in different lots. But in order to create development and housing, the person, whoever ended up owning the lot, has to come again to the planning board and go through the shoreline zone ordinance. Now, that was part of the condition of the approval of the subdivision. And I think that was something that in the video, the town manager explained so. So, it's not, that the approval was not done in a vacuum. It made it sound like, the developer planning board approved the subdivision in a resource protected area. And to that, you have to add that there was a condition of approval. That's the developments are gonna happen only in the sense that once that is changed to be limited residential, then they can come to the board and apply over the shoreline zone ordinance. So as it is, let's say for instance, if the applicant sell a lot, which is fair game, right? Kind of aggressive, because the board tried to explore that at the time that the application was coming through. There was no intention of going to out and sell right off, or at least that was the impression of the board. But now maybe there is, things, the wind have changed, and maybe there is, he can sell a lot today. And the new owner of the lot can come Monday to the planning board and say, listen, I wanna build this Taj Mahal in this place. And we'll say, sorry to tell you, you can't. So your application is denied because it's still considered a resource protection area. So that label is not pulled out by DEP and the maps are redone, nothing can be developed. Additional to that, I went ahead of myself into it, I finished it at DEP, but before this going to the DEP, the town has to vote on that as well. So the next step for the town as a governance is having the planning board draft a warrant that is gonna be sent to the select board. The select board might change it, might deny it, might approve it, and that will go in our ballot for January, hopefully. If not January, it will be June. And the town have to approve that change of use in that piece of land. Once that happens, then that's sent to DEP, and DEP has a final blessing into it. I don't foresee any issues in the sense that all the documentation is here scientifically to have that approval. But you never know where the winds go, so that's the process.
Okay.
Any questions regarding this Marta?
Can you remind me, what is the size of each of the individual lots? Have they been divided up into lots at this point?
It is divided in lots. I wanna say that each lot is a little less than an acre,
Okay,
or a little bit over an acre.
okay.
Actually, I take that back, it's a little bit over an acre, it's 6 of them,
And they're all waterfront, so they each would have to abide by shoreline zoning.
that's correct. And they cannot build, they have to build in the 100 feet setback.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
we're walking where there was a site visit to this area. And there's documentation about it as well. So I think all the check marks on the planning board I've done. We need our due diligence into that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, excellent, thank you, Sarah.
No problem.
Is that it for public comment? Seeing hands on the board. So we will move on to review and approval of October 7th minutes.
I move we approve the minutes of October 7th, 2025. Second.
Seconded. Any corrections?
Oh, I had one correction on page 2, Lori Fulton, under committee appointments. Her name is Lori, Lori, but in the motion it calls her Laura, so we just need to correct that. Lori to Laura. but it's listed correctly up in the attendees. So it's just that one spot. Other than that, I thought they looked great.
One thing I saw was on the page after we came out of the executive session. There's a select board offered the town manager a contract for employment and agreed upon, all parties signed it. They actually asked you if you accepted it, you said yes, so I think that should be stated and then they do accept it.
So after the semicolon, the town manager accepted the contract.
So we don't have anything, all in favor?
Should I change my motion? Yes, and then
Just accept it as a name. That's probably. Yes, 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, and it's 0. So in the minutes as amended. All right, the unfinished business. British property septic system.
So you took this up at your last meeting. You discussed the septic system inspection at the Burgess property where the tank was in good shape, but the leach field failed due to lack of pumping. You received an estimate of $9,200 from Stanley Septic for repairs. The board asked Facilities Director Corey Alexander to get additional estimates from local contractors. In addition, there was a question from Melanie Jewell about the expenditures for the property coming from the reserve account set up for a future public works department. Chair Daniel Newman asked the town manager to check with legal on this. Information from the Public Works Ad Hoc Committee, the warrant article voted upon in 2023, and the meeting minutes of town meeting 2023 were sent over to legal for their review. Phil Saucier, his determination based on the description of the article and minutes of the town meeting. It appears that the intent of the reserve fund was for Public Works Department capital improvement projects. So all expenditures to date, including the repair of the septic system, would legally fall under expenses from the reserve account. In addition, as requested, Corey is here tonight, but he got 2 additional estimates. One from David Hollowell Construction in the amount of $11,484.26. We have the original from Stanley's, $9,250, and one from Jason Stevens, which is $9,950. And Corey, you're here, you can answer any questions. I also included a list of all of the, I think Dan, you had asked to see what we had expended from that account for this property, so you'll see that in the packet as well.
I had a question comparing the first 2, because we just got the Hello construction tonight. And on Jason Stevens, he specifies installing a pipe from the garage to the existing tank and removing any contaminated soil. And I didn't see any mention specifically to those issues in the Stanley's proposal. So I don't know if that's just, is that standard that they would
Yeah,
do
he
that,
would-
that they would do that
that would-
anyway?
Cause that's where the new bed is gonna go, is right by the old.
Okay.
So, yeah, he would have to remove that. The old piping. Brush rock, all that stuff.
Okay, because it just wasn't specified in the other, so I just wanted to make sure that that was
Yeah, a
standard.
little more basic.
Yeah.
Description on his, and
Okay,
a little more excessive on Hollowell one. So,
Yeah. right. Down
That
to
was
the,
a
down to the
lot.
penny, down to the
Yeah.
penny. So, is this something that would be done this fall before the ground freezes?
hopefully, yes.
And all 3 companies would be available to do it?
Stanley's definitely probably later, end of October, or early November, the other two would be able to do it, but they will squeeze it in. It's a pretty quick job. It's not a big leach field. The only thing that we did not. And there's the opening for the tower for the well, so that's what, $500, $600,
Probably,
800, so we would have to buy, but we can get that out of just regular facilities of town to get pipe and wire.
Another 800 for pipe and what did you say?
Wire.
Wire.
That would be on any of them.
Yeah,
So is there any reason not to go with the least expensive?
A lot of times we try, if the bids are close, we try to keep it local.
Seems
Right.
like it's pretty close, I'd say we're covering.
yeah. Jason does a good job.
He does good, he does.
Okay,
super
we're just asking if there's,
Yeah, I mean.
maybe he'll be able to get us in sooner since he's local. Good.
Put it this way, I could verify with whoever you did, if they can't do it this year, then
We may have to go to Stanley.
go to Stanley's.
Yep.
Because the addition is going up as we speak. So it would be spectacular to actually have a bathroom this winter.
Would be nice.
Well, with that, keep it, you don't have to, in the spring and summer, you don't have to have porta potties.
Exactly,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think all the money was saved in porta potties. Okay, I move that we award the job to Jason Stevens excavation for $9,950.
Second.
If he can do it this fall.
If he can do it this fall.
If not, then we'll award it to.
Stanley.
That way we got a contingent.
Yeah.
Doug seconds it as amended.
Oh. Yeah,
Second, Carol?
yeah, I think.
All right.
Oh.
No, Doug
Doug,
seconded.
everybody. All those in favor? 5-4, against.
You'll get a hold of Jason.
Yep. I'll call him. I gotta call him tomorrow.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
get a dumb question. Well, porta potties. We put one up there somewhere for the cemetery.
Yeah.
Use during the summer too.
Yes,
Is there any way when we build this bathroom, you can put an exterior door on it and then they can lock the inside door? And maybe we wouldn't have to have porta potties up there?
well, the porta potty that they use is all the way down on the other end to sort of like
Okay. I just trying to see.
woodside / plan 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, I just trying to see if we could save some more money.
Yeah,
Mention that, we need to go Stanley's.
what's that?
You need to go Stanley's on it. It's the end,
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Great. They're all, they want them like that.
Okay,
But I will call.
thank you. RFP legal services, next agenda item. Well,
No,
Permit
for
fees.
the use.
going down an extra line.
That's okay.
Permits.
So the board reviewed, a list of permit fees that Hans and Mary, worked on together. Hans did a bit of research, and you received a spreadsheet with those, neighboring towns or area fees. And he updated, what we have for a list, building permit land use fee schedule, shoreland and non-shoreland, because these have not been updated for about 20 years. And they would like, the request was also to update the ordinance so that it would give authority to the select board to be able to review this permit fee schedule and be able to make changes as needed without having to change the ordinance or go to town meeting, which obviously takes much longer. So the list of permit fees, Mary went through and did some updating from that spreadsheet. I know there was a question, it wasn't clear with me, so we sat down and took a look at this afternoon. If you're looking on page 1, where it says commercial / industrial, and that is suggested to go from 10 cents a square foot to 25. Right underneath, it says government / nonprofit, and it's increased from 50 to 100. That actually falls under that commercial / industrial category. So if you were trying to pair that up with that spreadsheet that's in your packet, they're not gonna match. It doesn't say commercial, but it means that it falls under the commercial, so it's the $100 fee. Same thing with that entry right underneath. It says expansion, reconstruction, that's also commercial. The other 2 items that weren't super clear to me, but Mary and I reviewed this. The accessory structures, that same page is kind of middle of the page. Says greater than 250 square feet, and it goes from 6 cents a square foot up to 15. Same thing with the line underneath. If you match those up to that spreadsheet in your packet, it says 10 cents a square foot. Hans increased those to 15. And I think those were the only items that didn't make a lot of sense for me, or I just needed some clarification so I could share that with you all. The fees for LPI plumbing, those are all set by the state, and we follow the same state fees. We haven't changed those. Some municipalities have, but we have not. We just use what the state says.
I have another question about the shoreline zoning review fee. Says on the first page, it says increasing from 25 to 75. And that's in addition to the building permit fee. Then on the spreadsheet, it talks about 75 for CEO and 100 for planning board. But it just would be the $75 fee. And does that paid to for the CEO, are there 2 fees? So one to the CEO and one to the planning board?
I would assume that it may, and Mary's on here, yeah, Mary, did you
So-
hear that question?
Yeah, so I did. So usually the shoreland zoning, anything in shoreland zoning ends up going to planning board with a $25 fee. And then the additional fee is the cost per square foot on top of the $25. So we're increasing that to a $75 fee because there has been a lot of administrative work behind the scenes that Hans has been having to perform in order to get these applications through. So it would be 75 plus the building permit fee.
Okay, so not that, so, okay.
So if you probably don't have that spreadsheet in front of you, do you, Mary?
Yes, I do.
Okay, if you look on there,
In the middle of shoreland zone.
yeah, if you look kind of in the middle of it, it says in shoreland zone, and it says review fee, in addition to building permit fee, $75 CEO, code enforcement, and then $100 planning board. So is there an additional fee other than that $100 that would be for the application with the planning board? Is there a $75 fee that is collected for code enforcement?
So I'm not sure. So usually anything that's in shoreland zoning is right now it's a $25 fee plus the building permit fee. I guess I'm a little confused by that because I do see what you're saying, that the $100 is there if it for planning board. So it's my understanding anything in shoreland zoning within the area that would fall in shoreland zoning would be the $75 fee. So I can't answer that question. I'm sorry.
But I mean, I would assume that that's correct because whatever the other questions were, the discrepancies between this page and the spreadsheet, the first page was the one that was correct.
Yes.
So it seems like it should just be $75 review fee.
That's what I'm thinking too. So,
And not an additional $100, because as you said, anything that goes, that's in the shoreline zone has to go to the planning board.
correct.
Yeah, I don't have that chair in front of me, but typically if it's a smaller application, it just is reviewed by the CEO. So that would be a $75 fee just for CEO review. And then if it's a bigger application, it would be reviewed by the planning board. So there has to be a higher fee because it's a more complex application. So I'm guessing your spreadsheets might have that confused a little bit.
I think that we may need some clarification from Hans on that. So I would hate to respond and just not be sure. But I mean, it has been about 20 years since we've reviewed these fees. Costs have gone up significantly for code enforcement. Hans is spending a lot of additional time in his duties and making sure, and he's doing a great job. But
I don't question any of that. I just question,
right,
you know,
We want to-
75 versus 100. Yeah.
I just sent a message to Hans to see if he could zoom in.
Okay,
I'm
that'd be
sure
great.
he will.
Because all the other, I think, all Lorna's other questions were answered, so I just had that other one as well.
Go ahead, Matt.
I again, I don't know the fees, but, for my experience, I would say that if you're gonna be charging a fee, it would be $100 for a planning board fee and then an extra fee if it's in the shoreline zone. So you would want to pay significantly more because shoreline zone review is significantly more work than an upland, even if upland planning board review is nowhere near as complex as a shoreline zone
Right,
review.
and this category is in shoreline, it's for shoreline zoning.
So it should be 175 is what that's what it should be.
Yeah, it doesn't say that, so I just wanna be clear. So,
And you wouldn't have to finalize this list of fees tonight, but we would like to have the board approve a warrant article so that we could get this ready for Janet.
okay,
The other question I've got real quick before I look forward is, we had talked about the driveway permits and the little parentheses. New widening, resurfacing of existing driveways. I'd like to find out if we can change that language to eliminate or to say resurfacing of existing paved or concrete driveways, because again, if somebody's hauling in a load of gravel, grading to fill in potholes. I honestly don't think you should charge the fee to fill dirt potholes.
Right.
I'd like to clarify that a little bit.
I think that's would definitely be doable, and we have a separate. Mary, she's still there.
yeah,
How's-
I'm still here. So yeah, I
Fine.
don't think that pulling in some loads of dirt to fill potholes is considered resurfacing. To me, resurfacing is redoing the driveway completely.
Consider it, Mary, they said it.
Yeah, it is actually resurfacing the driveway. So I'd like to just clarify it so that people know that you're hauling in a couple loads of, crushed gravel.
I mean, the camp roads, every camp road gets done every year. I guarantee there's not one permit pulled for a camp road.
Right.
You know, so.
When they start to wash out, so you're building them up, so you're typically resurfacing.
Yeah.
But camp roads are private ways too. So we're talking about
Ones
those
that get-
driveways that are off from municipal roads.
They hit the town roads where they enter.
Yeah, same as a driveway.
So. First.
So I don't have the last meeting where we had the comparison of the permits. One of the things I was asking to make sure that he's getting closer to the other surrounding towns on the permit fees, because we just still a little bit on the low side, I felt. You know, we're, granted, we haven't done it in 20 years, but I think when we're doing it, we should get it there. And so we're close to the surrounding towns. I can't, like I said, I don't have the old trees.
I
have-
have an extra copy here. That you could look at, and again, I don't think, Mary, would you agree that we don't have to have, these fees finalized tonight, but we would like to have approval in the warrant article so that we can get that ready for January?
Agreed.
Yeah, it's the same towns, Bruce, that we saw at the last time.
It's got Rome, I think you got Rome and Mount Vernon,
Yeah,
Reedfield.
Reedfield, Wilton.
Wilton,
Yeah.
way away. Sure.
but it's the same towns that we saw
Yeah.
the last time, so.
Yes,
That's-
yes, same list, it is.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I just think we should try to get more, you know, especially try to. Get up like where Rome is and get up like where you know. Well, you know, those are surrounding towns, Wheatfield's close to our size. Even Manchester, I don't see Manchester on here, Manchester touches our town too. I just, you know, if we're doing this, you know, and I'm in support of doing it, I'm not disagreeing with that, cause I just think if we're doing it, we should get it. You know, once and, you know, not once and done, but get it there, so then we can, every year we can look at fees and maintain it, you know, like we do the transfer station.
Maybe we continue to look at the fees, but go ahead, take a motion on the article.
That would be
I
great.
agree.
So
Yeah.
I move that we approve the article. As printed to see if the town will adopt a revised building permit and land use fee schedule. As recommended by the Belgrade Board of Select Persons, and to authorize the Board of Select Persons to review and update the fee schedule as needed.
I'll second that.
Any other stuff on that? No, all those in favor? 5-0.
Then maybe next week we can do it, we need to instead of those fees.
And Bruce,
Or
take a
later,
copy of
before-
that home with you,
Yeah.
make some notes on it.
Yeah, you email it to me?
Sure,
That
I'll
would-
I'll make a note right now, Bruce, to email right over.
And then see if we can
You
change
can
it.
see that,
I can?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you email a copy to Matt, Coach?
yes.
He seems to want to go for them.
Yeah. And let's just see if we can add that thing for the lighting, resurfacing the driveway, it's just to clarify it, so we don't have somebody start arguing over. Right. Next item is new business and any appointments, resignations, any.
I have. Yes, I have a board of trustees. And then we've got a couple of resignations. Victoria. Is resigning as a full member of Board of Parks and Rec. But we just appointed Lori last meeting
As an
And-
alternate.
As an
as an
alternate.
alternate, so
Yeah.
she will become full and Victoria will serve alternate.
And so do we have to approve that move from alternate to full?
I don't think so. Do we, Mary? Have you ever done that?
No, I haven't. If you want to, I'm sure it would be fine just to formalize it.
They're already sworn in, so
Right,
I don't really want to have to go be sworn in again.
right. Agree.
Bruce.
So on the agenda, I had a resignation on the budget committee, a week and a half ago. So, my understanding there was some applications already in for a new budget, and I just had another resignation today. So I'm kind of curious why we didn't have that on the agenda tonight to at least fill the position that was empty at the time.
We opened that up because we have a whole list of committee openings and Mary already had 2 applications. We received another one And we didn't know about the resignation today until today, obviously.
Right, but I had
Um,
one.
But that
a week
one's,
ago.
that one's going to, that one's going to attend the next meeting, so we're in good shape until our first meeting in November to appoint.
Right. Problem is, do we have a select-board meeting between now and then?
We have a meeting November 5.
So I guess what I'm getting at, I understand why, we already had some applications already on file, and plus the third one came in. Why that wasn't on tonight's agenda, because that first resignation came in, so it could have been on tonight's agenda.
To fill out.
We didn't because we opened it up to get applications. We did not know that there were 2 in the file already to go that had interest in serving on the budget committee. When the notice was put out and committed to go a couple weeks with it to see if we could get applicants in. It's an important committee to serve on.
I know, that's why I'm a little concerned, I'm gonna come November, I'm gonna be 2 people short.
I think we'll be in good shape. We have more than 2 applications, so.
And I think, I remember that we spoke at some point, I don't remember exactly when, about, when we have a committee resignation, to post it over a 2-week period so that we can, solicit new members, you know, try to encourage and let people know that there is an opening. And so I don't know how that plays out with applications that we already have for committees, if we already have people who have applied. How does that fit into
Well,
wanting to open it up?
I think we should do the same thing that we're doing with the Parks and Rec. I think you should have some alternates for the budget committee.
Yeah, I think it's coming to that point, yeah.
So that way, I mean, if you had a couple applications sitting there, we could accept it as alternates, and that way they can step in.
That's a good idea.
Could have stepped in.
That's a good
And then they can be elevated to a full committee member,
Mhm.
and so, I mean, we may need to think about doing that.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea, because it's been tough the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And aren't we also supposed to have the committee approve the people?
Before,
Right,
before
it should
it
go
comes
to
the board?
the committee
Should go to the
first.
budget committee first.
Or at least send, every time they get an application, send it to the committee, so that way they can
Right, so they'll know
approve,
the
this would be a
committee.
good person to
Right.
put in as the alternate for now, and that way we've got them ready to go.
but do we need to do anything to establish alternate
I
positions?
think you guys-
Yeah.
I think you have to look at the bylaws, right, Mary?
Mary says.
Yes, because right now it's just 6 members, no alternates. So
Right.
the bylaws would just have to be amended, which I think is a great idea because there has been a big problem. And but we have had 2 applications that I have been holding for a period of time, but there were no openings, and I did reach out to them. They still expressed an interest in participating on the budget committee.
Okay, so what do we need to do to change the bylaws? So that would have to come from the committee. The committee would have to change their bylaws and then we would have to approve it?
I believe so.
Mhm.
So we can do that at the beginning of our meeting. Well, it's a select board meeting, well. How can we do that one?
When's your next budget committee meeting?
The next meeting is Monday, the 27th.
Maybe you could meet for 5 minutes at 6:25 and have your own meeting to change your bylaws.
I can try that.
We can do that, we get those changed, and then I think we really ought to look at the other committees too, so we get a bunch of people that are interested and that have their names in the file. Let's get a couple alternates.
Yeah.
That way, if somebody resigns, we can go to them and say, you're considered an alternate. If you've been going.
I know we're hurt at the transfer station.
Yep.
Desperately bad, we don't, I think we're down to 3 of us active.
But there are alternates on the planning board. And don't they vote if a planning board member isn't available?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it could be the same thing
Yeah.
that,
They still can go to.
yeah, they can go to the meetings and if there's not full participation, then they
They
could
don't.
be a voting member.
Too, I think.
Yeah, it should be, that's why we have alternates, I believe. So yeah, let's take a look at that.
Okay, I've made myself a note here to do that.
All right, so first thing we're gonna do under this is new appointments. We've got Sheila King, Library Board of Trustees.
Was she
She
going to
gonna
be
be here?
here tonight, Mary?
Well, she was notified to be in attendance, and that's Ian's mother.
Ian's mother, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Okay, well, she's not here, so.
No,
we're
we
gonna-
don't see
gonna have
her.
to
Yeah,
make
so
a
we'll.
motion to-
Yeah, I
again.
move we table the appointment of Sheila King until she's able to be here.
All those in favor? 4-0 against. Resignations. Victoria's resigning as full-time Board of Parks and Rec and wants to become an alternate.
Move we accept Victoria's resignation as a full member and accept her as an alternate member.
Second,
All those in favor?
With regret and thanks.
Yep.
Both.
Right.
Like we normally do. And then while we're right there, we want to go ahead, just to say, have it on record that we're elevating Lori
Fulton,
forward.
yeah, I move that we move Lori Fulton to a full member of the Board of Parks and Rec from an alternate.
second,
Right, all those in favor? 5-0 against. They've already been sworn in, so I don't think they have to be redone until then. And also resignation is Scott Ferguson from the Budget Committee.
I move we accept the resignation of Scott Ferguson from the Budget Committee. With regret. And thanks for his service.
second,
Second, all those in favor? 5-4-0 against, and we understand the certificate thanking him for his service. And
So I'm just thinking about, I mean, I don't want to get too down in the weeds with this, but at what point, if we say we want to post an opening for a 2-week period, does that 2-week period start when we accept the resignation, or does that start when you or Mary or whoever, first receives the notification?
If we're official about it, then it should start when you accept the resignation. Then there's not all of these funny timelines. Well, I think I started it over here, but you didn't accept it.
if we accept it on a Tuesday, it's posted on a Thursday. Let's just make sure we do it that way, so that it's basically within a day.
Okay.
And that way it's basically 2 weeks.
Okay, and then if we have the alternates, then it's not a problem, because an alternate can just step right in.
Right.
Okay, great.
Next is RFP Legal Services.
Talk about in the weeds, oh my gosh.
I know. I pulled one from another town that had already been through legal for approval. Corey, thank you. And then just modified to fit us. So draft RFP for legal services. I know at the last meeting, Bruce, you had brought up the fact that monthly legal fees were increasing, and that was putting us over that $15,000 threshold. So we should go out to RFP for that.
Didn't we have an RFP from the last time?
No, I think, Mary, we looked for one. You thought maybe 99?
Yeah, I haven't seen one. So yeah, I haven't seen one for quite a period of time.
Anthony, I thought Anthony did one.
I didn't think it was that long ago.
He's got his
He's
hand
got
up.
his hand up.
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
So first of all, statutorily, there's no requirement that you bid professional services. And that includes services such as legal services, auditing services, architectural and engineering services. And so my question is, why is the town putting this out to RFP? Is there a concern that Bernstein Sure is not provided great representation? Or is it a concern about the amount of money that has been spent with the law firm?
I think it's,
It's the amount that they charge us per month has gone up substantially.
So
It's over the $15,000 threshold. So that's,
again, though, you don't have to bid professional services. And so as far as I know, so I'm assuming that Bernstein Sure still charges the town a fixed fee for legal services. And then if you ask them to do something outside the scope of that contract, then there is a fee. So I'm going to assume that the reason that your fees are what they are is because you're asking them to provide additional services outside the scope of their fixed fee contract.
No, what it is, it's the fixed fee amount that's gone up on us.
Well, the fixed fee is based upon a 3 to 5 year experience. So the fixed fee is based upon the fact that you've used them so much over the past 3 years that it increases your fee. It's the same arrangement that we have where I work. So the more you use them, the more they're going to increase their fee. And if you get away from a fixed fee, which should help you with budgeting matters, then at that point, you're going to be charged $225 an hour. So has anyone calculated what that cost would be to the town based upon the number of hours that you've used?
Phil does it every year and shows us the savings between the actual cost of charging hourly or going with the monthly fixed rate fee, which is always lesser than if you were going to charge us by the hour. So we're doing much better by going with the fixed monthly fee.
Obviously, I mean, that's the reason to do that. And so if you put this out to bid, I think you're at risk of having three things happen to you. One is you probably won't get the same quality of legal representation that you're currently getting from Bernstein Sure, because Phil Saucier, who is the attorney that serves you, is widely regarded as one of the best municipal attorneys in the state. Becky Seal, who spent 40 years working for MMA Legal, once told me that. And there's a reason that the Maine Municipal Association asked Phil and Ann Freeman, who are two of your attorneys, to consistently provide training to their membership across the state, is because they're widely regarded as excellent municipal attorneys. So one, you risk having a lesser representation than what you have. Two is the fee structure that we just talked about. So take the number of hours that you've spent this year with your legal services, multiply that by, let's say, 225. I think that's probably the going rate for an attorney right now. And that's going to be your cost. It's going to be more, as Lorna just said, than your fixed fee rate. And number three, you're starting from scratch. So Bernstein Sure has a long history with the town. They know what your issues are. They know the background of the things that you folks have been dealing with. And now you're going to start from scratch. And again, I think that's going to hurt the level of representation.
May I interrupt you? I completely agree with that. I agree with what you said overall, but the last part is of great concern to me, Anthony, because there is a great relationship with Phil and his team and this office, and they have a wonderful historical knowledge of everything here. So that is an excellent point to make.
Okay, so I think all those things together, and the fact that you statutorily are not required to put this particular professional service out for bid, is an argument for not doing this. I don't see any good coming from doing this.
I agree, and I was under the impression that because this was over $15,000, that we would have to put it up.
That's kind of
Put it
like
out
the
for bid,
policy of the
but-
town though, right?
Well, it's the policy of the voters. It's not just the town.
Right.
It's,
We have a-
it's not the law.
We have a perpetuity article, I think, don't we? Mary would know that probably off the top line.
Yes, we have an article that says anything that's over $15,000, whether it be a service or a, a job performed, has to go out to bid. So that is one of the reasons that this was looked at.
Well, it's not the law. And now you guys are just creating busy work for yourself because that being the case, you should be looking at what the quality of the service is. It's more of an RFQ, request for qualifications, than it is an RFP, request for proposals. And so if you're satisfied with the level of representation that you get, you're going to end up with the same firm operating under the same contract. And so, my opinion, again, it's just a waste of time, money, and effort.
Thank you.
Don't we put our assessing out for bid? Did
We do,
that last
and
year?
auditing. Mhm.
I thought we did. I mean,
Yes.
that's why
All
I
of
thought
those.
we were
Because
putting
it
them out.
may not be state law, but when the town votes on it, the town can supersede and make it
Right.
stricter than state law. It's like anything else.
Right, we do have a perpetuity article that says,
So.
I would venture to say it, and I don't know if the board has leeway in that. I don't know. I think I really like Bill and his team.
I do too.
I just think that you can't replace that historical knowledge and the relationship.
I'd rather try to negotiate a better price than do the RFP, but it's either here or there. Matt.
Well, I respect Anthony and all the points you made, but I don't think it's busy work necessarily. I think that it's exactly as Dan said, the warrant article is there so that the townspeople know when we're spending significantly more money than we expected. So 15,000 was the threshold, 15,000 is what it is. We want to change that, but I think it's just allowing the public to know when we're spending a lot of money. So
Mhm.
I think we should follow that because that's what the town has agreed to do.
When did we take the threshold of 15,000? I mean, how many years ago?
Just happened.
It popped up to, I think we're around 1,800.
So
if we-
18,000 and that just popped this year.
If
No,
we're.
the threshold
No,
for
the
the,
threshold.
for that
When we
warrant,
actually
for the,
vote on it.
When we set the threshold for 15,000, how many years ago was it?
Oh, I would assume that was many moons ago.
So because it was so many years,
That long ago,
No.
a while ago, but we were at like 10 and
Yeah.
then we've gone up over the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it's time for that to go up a little bit too, but
I was gonna say that may be.
I could also speak with Phil and see what we can do to keep that monthly fixed rate at around $12.50. I'm sure it would mean dropping back on some of what we would need from his office.
yeah, I'm just wondering if there are questions that we can pose to
We
MMA.
don't get a lot, you don't get a lot or as good, sometimes you don't get as good information from MMA.
Yeah,
And again, that goes back to that relationship.
yeah.
Phil is familiar with
Right.
Belgrade and has that historical.
I'm just trying to think if there are any routine matters, that.
some things I think that go to the lawyer that don't
That we could-
necessarily go. Think they
Yeah,
go to the
and
lawyer.
Anthony has this kind of.
Oh, sorry, and Bruce.
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony, first.
Barbara, to your point, as Lorna said, the MMA answers sort of broad questions. If you have something very specific, they're going to always refer you to the town's attorney. But there are a lot of questions that are broad in nature that I typically don't go to Bernstein Sure. They're the law firm where I work, and instead I go to the MMA for that very reason. It's like insurance. It's one less claim that we have against our fixed fee for legal services. And so as a result, we're less likely to pay more the subsequent year. I would propose that maybe it's time for the perpetuity article to be amended to exclude professional services to comport with state law.
I think that may make sense, but I think we need to look and see, look at both of them, what we could get. Is there a way we can do it to cut back and fill? And then come back at the next meeting and discuss further on it.
And see
Because
when that.
I think there's
15,000
enough we're not
was.
sure of tonight to make a decision.
Yeah, so
Okay.
And then we'll find out when that perpetuity article started and how that should adjust.
So one of the reasons that this came up for me is the status. Bill should have came to the select board and saying, I got a large increase. Instead of just throwing a bill with an increase. That's how we found that by mistake at doing budget. That there's a large increase. And nobody was notified. He should have came in front of the board. Any other people that have a contract with the town of Belgrade has to come in front of you guys and negotiate that contract if we want to increase it. He should have came in front of you guys and say, hey, I'm increasing your contract X amount of dollars, blah, blah, blah. That gives you guys a chance to either negotiate with him, ask him how you can decrease it, or, okay, this is what it's gonna be. Not just hand you a bill.
I think the last time they did come before us because they gave us actually gave us a breakdown. And said their rates are gonna increase
Yeah,
to
I think-
this.
And I think at the end of the last, when we signed or when we entered into the last contract. There might have been an understanding that it would go up at the end. I think we had an inkling that it was gonna
at the
go up.
last budget cycle, we did know it was going up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, I said we bring it back at the next meeting.
okay.
In the meantime, let's have one talk to them and see if there's anything to do about cutting back on some of the fees or, maybe they can look at some of the things that you've sent to them, this probably didn't need to come to us, so let's get an idea of what we should be sending to them and what we shouldn't be sending to them. Matt?
Sorry, there's a couple of hands on the screen.
Oh, it was Melanie and Anthony.
All right, Melanie, haven't heard from Melanie yet.
Melanie, oh, there she. Oh, she's moving, okay. She's on the bottom of the screen, go ahead.
Oh, guess not. All right, Anthony.
2 points. One is the question of whether or not state law supersedes a perpetuity article would be a perfect question for MMA.
Yeah.
And two, this is how it works in the town of Winthrop. During budget season, the town manager calls Bernstein Sure and says, hey, what's our contract price going to be next year? And when I did that this past year with Phil Socher, he said, well, based upon the experience, your fee is going to remain flat. So I think it's a good practice for the administration to take the initiative to reach out to the law firm during budget season. I mean, the reason that Belgrade went to the fixed fee rate, I'm sorry, interesting. The reason that we went to the fixed fee rate is so that we could get a handle each year during budget time as to what our legal services cost were going to be. That was the whole purpose of that. So it wasn't roller coasting year after year. And so, again, where I work, town manager reaches out to Bernstein Sure, says, what's our cost going to be this year? We plug that into the budget.
Right. So. Back up.
And I did reach out to Phil, it was 18 through June 30, so there was no increase with this budget cycle.
That's how we found out on.
Yeah.
This one. Okay.
That did I miss somebody?
I didn't see anything.
No,
I didn't see anything.
Something.
Okay, didn't something beep? It wasn't my
Yeah,
imagination.
something ding dings.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
I think
sorry.
Melanie was on in 2 different places and now she's not there.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Anthony.
All right, so. We'll bring that back next meeting,
Okay,
so if you can find out in the meantime.
yeah, I'm sure I can keep us at 12:50. I'll
Let's-
just
let's
have
hope
Phil
it's gonna-
go over whatever we've sent him for the past year or so and say, okay, Lorna, you don't need to give this to me, go to MMA. So I'll know that going forward and that will.
But any litigation would be above and beyond.
Yeah, but all of
That's-
that,
That's different.
but that falls,
Under-
like, the planning board or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You may wanna ask for a breakdown first and review it before you try to get rid of anything to lower the price, just to see why the increase is, and that might help alleviate some of his concerns as well.
They do give us a breakout every month with the bill, so we know where to expense it from. If it's the monthly.
Oh, so we can-
Don't want your
So
necessary.
that's a good idea, so we can look at that ourselves. We can do
Yes,
that ourselves before
Yes,
we
you
talk to
can.
Phil.
yes. Good.
Alrighty, so, thing is other business. We have no other business. Me.
I know, I usually have something, I've got nothing up my sleeve.
Wow.
Next is warrants. I have big glasses. I remember to get my real ones. All right, first one is warrant number 120. The payroll warrant for $27,141.57.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any questions on that one? I'm gonna check my box to see if I had a check to make up the last one of those, but that's all right. A motion. Approve.
Yeah, in fact, Barbara and Michael did.
All those in favor? 5-4-0 against. Next is AP warrant 121, $7,961.17.
Move to approve.
Second.
Question on that?
Well, this is it says this is a reprint, so did we already approve this?
No, it's just if she did something, out of
Something that comes.
sequence or whatever,
Okay.
and didn't get it printed or put away the first time, she just reprinted
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right, all those in favor? 5-0. Warrant number 122, AG warrant. The amount of $729,873.54.
Move to approve.
Second.
Nothing jumped out at me from this, except the RSU. Jokes jumps out on this.
So. Anybody have anything?
Not I.
All right. All those in favor? 5-4-0 against.
Bruce, I have a check for you.
Okay, thank you.
Next is warrant number 123, which is a payroll warrant. $26,094.49.
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions on that one? All those in favor? 5-4-0 against. The last one is warrant number 124, the AP warrant, $61,037.52.
Move to approve.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor? 5-4-0 against.
We found the corrected sheet of the minutes with Lori Fulton's name.
I did.
I was trying to find it when I was looking at mine, because they had already replaced mine, so I had that. Right. I don't know,
That's all right.
must be, that's probably my eyes again.
No, that's good, that's because I take my book home, sorry.
Tell me, Jerry.
Attended the budget committee meeting October 14 and select board budget committee meeting October 20. The next budget meeting is scheduled for October 27. MMA communications training is scheduled for October 30. A second request for a speed study was sent to Maine Department of Transportation for the Dunn Road, and that was on the West Road end. October 20th, Daryl Bells responded. I forwarded that out, so you all saw that today, that they have received the request and have added the location to their review list. A lot of behind the scenes work, getting budget figures and information together for both the budget committee and select board to help in departmental reviews and decision making. It takes the whole front office. We all work on it and do binders and print and all of that sort of thing. So it's a good team effort. And follow up from the October 20 meeting and all updates in preparation for the 27th. I think we'll have budget binders ready Thursday meeting, Friday the latest, but I'll probably get an email out Thursday. We were able to get most of those updates from last night done. We are awaiting final updates on the field lease agreement for the Workman Field, and then we'll bring that back to the select board for review and consideration. We do have a notice posted to fill the local health officer appointed position. There are no applications yet.
Excuse me,
Yes.
the question of the field use agreement, is that still the Parks and Rec board as well as K-WISP?
It's Parks and Rec have made corrections or changes of what they would like to see, very minor. Just waiting for K-WISP to review and make any changes on their. In-person voting and absentee ballots are available for November 4. Voting on November 4 will be held at the Center for All Seasons, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We do have a special page set up. Mary's put that together on our website, belgrademaine.gov/voting. The last day to vote in person, early voting or absentee is Thursday, October 30. The office is open from 7 to 7 on the 30th because that is a Thursday. So extended hours, and October 30 is also the last date that you may request an absentee ballot. Road Commissioner Jason Stevens and his crew have done an inventory of intersections and worked to increase visibility as you approach each and to make stop signs more visible. I saw him the next day after, 2 days after your last meeting when we talked about that. And he said that he had time that day and the next, so they were gonna go right out.
In your travels, Bruce, have you noticed the differences? Because I haven't been around to watching roads. I know you're.
The worst one I haven't been on, so for those road stuff I haven't been on.
I'm gonna try to take a trip on the video tomorrow, my day off.
We just discussed that draft RFP for legal services. I'll skip over that. Communications policy updates. We have a meeting the 23rd to continue work on revision so we can get that back to you for review. And the employee handbook updates, we do have a meeting scheduled for the 28th also to go over that, finalize and get that back to you so that you can start reviewing and approving those changes.
That's it.
We have an executive session. Oh, we did.
Yep, we have
Oh,
attorneys and Dan is on with us.
Oh.
Yeah, so you wanna take just a couple minute
Couple minute
break?
break.
Yep. So everyone, you'll have to leave into executive session and we're just gonna take a 2-minute break. Thank you all for attending. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Beth.
That's the executive session.
I move we exited executive session at 8:10 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
I move we enter a regular session at 8:10 p.m.
Second.
Favor? I have nothing. Reporting. Motion reporting, no action taken.
No action was taken.
Right.
Carol seconded it.
Okay. Who motioned, Barbara did, some, okay.
In favor?
Move we adjourn at 8:11.
Woo-hoo, I second. You were out earlier today than we were last night.
That was on.